Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the Vow Factor. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How's your day going?
It's going really well. I'm just loving life today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you remember mascara today?
Okay, guys. We were... Okay, fine.
I'm just going to start this episode by roasting her.
I was loving life until I opened my phone to get the questions out that we're going to answer today, and I realized that I filmed an entire episode without mascara.
That's going to be really fun.
So no one make a comment in the previous episode. I know my mistake, and I won't do it again.
It's been a week for us, so...
Yeah, I mean... I just got distracted. I set my face and then I do my mascara after. But I did think to myself, Jessie, don't forget to do your mascara. And then I didn't do it. Okay. But we have it on now.
Are you someone when you do your mascara that it gets like messy and all over your eyes, or does it usually just like stay on your lashes and it's a pretty clean application?
Truthfully, it just kind of depends on the day. I used to never get it on my eyelashes, but then I did eyelash extensions for a while and like totally fucked up my eyelashes. And then I found it just got everywhere.
Because like my mom and I, and my sisters too, I don't know if it's the way like our eyes are shaped or whatever, but it has to get all over our eyes for it to like actually go onto our lashes, and it's crazy. And I've tried all the makeup artist tricks, and it's just better to have a messy application and then get it all off. So mascara is typically the first thing that I do.
See, I've thought...
Or one of the first things, but...
I used to do like really crazy eye makeup. Like I used to wear like super, super colorful like jewels, like...
Bring back the rhinestones.
I know.
That was so fun.
I know. I used to do like literally like rainbow makeup. It was so fun.
It was so beautiful.
I was so sad. So I needed to do something to make myself feel better.
I mean,
I can still do it now.
That's the
it's
thing.
Fine. Okay,
that's
next
the thing
time
to
I
do.
just come on with all the things, all the rhinestones. But
it'd be so pretty.
For then, it was I couldn't get makeup mascara all over me.
Yeah.
So I used to have to like kind of like put my hand here and it would get all over my finger.
Yeah.
Just being a girl thing. It's like
it's just a girl.
Just a girl.
Just a girl.
That's like my Yeti cup. Everyone has a Stanley. I have a Yeti. It's whatever. And so I have a sticker on it that says I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl with a Yeti.
The Yeti. Is it a Yeti? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what mine is.
Your massive...
The pink one.
Tumbler thing?
That says I'm just a girl on it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yes.
How's your day going?
My day is going great.
Because you remembered mascara.
I did. It was all over my face, and then I had a Q-tip, which also not all Q-tips are made the same, and my husband was just informed of this.
I just learned that there are like super, super mini Q-tips that are what you're supposed to use for this makeup artist, Sam something. She's friends with Michaela. Like, do you know who I'm talking about? Okay. She uses teeny, teeny, tiny one, and it doesn't like floof out, and she uses it to clean up her waterline when she does like a tight line. Because someone had asked her, how do you do a black like tight line so your lashes look thicker, but like a white or nude on your waterline, because you don't want it to get like you don't want it to mix, and the black will mix with the nude. And she says do the tight line first, let it wait 3 minutes, and then anything that she took out this little teeny tiny Q-tip and she like cleaned it up. And I was like, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen. It has a name. I don't know what the name is, but
I need to order them immediately, because that's all I use Q-tips for, really.
I literally saw it like 2 days ago. Well, I'll find it.
For makeup. And my husband...
And then she put the nude on and it was perfect. And I was like...
Incredible.
Genius.
Incredible. My husband's like, we just get Q-tips Publix brand. And I'm like, no, they bend. Yeah. They bend. You have to only Q-tip brand.
Yeah.
So also we need another sponsor. Q-tip brand.
Q-tip sponsor.
You know what?
We're just going to keep talking about how much we need sponsors.
Yeah. Diet Coke, Q-tip, really weird sponsors. But people love...
What do you mean? Q-tips come in handy on a wedding day.
That's what I was about to say. They're wedding related. You might think it's a weird sponsorship to ask for.
There are weird things necessary on a wedding day.
That's exactly right.
You know what you should always
need
have
to
on a
like
wedding day?
get a little tear. You keep a little Q-tip and you just dab it. Boom. Q-tips, sponsor us.
Perfect for a wedding day.
Perfect for a wedding day.
I think so.
Perfect for when I laugh too much that I have a little tear here because I cracked myself up all the time.
She made a joke and like laughed so hard that she started crying.
But I started crying from laughing too hard because all of you guys started laughing. Loathe. And then I just lost it. But this is what happens to me. You know, I just laugh until I cry. It's great.
Love it. It's fine. It's fine.
So
So
what the heck are we talking about today?
you're copying me now. Well, we launched yesterday, and
Yes.
that was incredible and amazing.
At the time of this recording.
At the time of this recording, we pre-record everything because we don't live together, and that is what works right now. But hopefully in the future, we'll figure it out.
Maybe Q-tips will be like, you know what? We're going to send you guys just on our little Q-tip jet back and forth.
Fine by me.
It's not shaped like a Q-tip. Let me be. It's the brand just has their own jet
Through the air.
Can you imagine? It's like the hot dog car.
Yes.
You know, from like Oscar Mayer or whatever.
Just the Q-tip.
Yeah, it's just a Q-tip private jet.
Just like a Q-tip.
Yeah, just like a paper airplane. Anyway,
we asked.
don't listen to anything I say today.
We're so giggly on these recently. I don't know what's going on. We're just happy
We're
to be
comfortable
here.
now.
I know. We were nervous at first. You'll notice episode 2, rough. That was our very first day recording.
Yeah,
And truthfully,
they've just
I
gotten
would
better
record
and
it if
better.
Emily would have let me. But she said, it's fine.
It's fine and it's perfect and we should capture this moment in time.
Okay, fine. Well, at least we re-recorded the first one. Anywho, I have no idea what episode this is, but all I do know is that you guys actually asked some really awesome questions yesterday. Not that I didn't think you were going to ask awesome questions. I just didn't think it was going to happen on the very first day. So we have those pulled up on.
You know how like
my
sometimes people answer their own Instagram question boxes to make it look like they got questions and engagement? I thought we were going to have to do that, but like our people really, they delivered.
That's so funny. I didn't think to do that.
You know, when you used to run a digital marketing agency,
I know.
you know a couple tips and tricks of the trade.
Well,
But people actually wrote in questions,
Yeah,
so I didn't
they
have
did.
to like
no, you didn't have to make
get
stuff
sneaky.
up. No.
Yeah.
No,
So.
none of these are from you.
No, and they're from like a mix of people too. They're from, you know, like brides and other wedding content creators, other vendors. Like this is like a good mix of questions. And so we've got a lot to say about
I'm
all
not
of
sure
them.
how many we're going to get through, but I really hope that we can make more podcast episodes dedicated to questions and really interacting with what you guys
Yeah.
and like more in a more direct way.
Yeah.
So consider this the first of those episodes.
Yes. a little Q&A.
Q-tip and
A little Q-tip and A. You know what? When we get the Q-tip sponsorship, I think
This is the Q-tip and A episode.
yes. We're going to give you tips.
And
And questions, you ask the questions, we give you the answers and the tips. The
oh my God,
Q-tips and A. Wow.
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 Okay, everyone tag Q-tip down below. Please, do they have an Instagram?
I can just see. Hold on, I gotta hear it. I suck that. So we need to do an instant replay of that. Wow, that's embarrassing. But I can see them being so savage on like TikTok and like Q-tip's TikTok account, like writing back to us and like sliding into our DMs. And then like all of a sudden a mystery package shows up at our door and it's just like a giant box filled with many boxes of Q-tips. And they're like,
Don't bend.
give one that don't bend. And they're like, give it to all of your, you know, couples or whatever for their wedding day.
Okay, this is a great idea. Q-tip, write this down. I'm just kidding.
Masterpiece.
Q-tip and A. So anyway,
Q-tip and A.
first of those. Just obviously going to jump right in because we got some stuff
What's
to get
the
through.
first
and
question we have? Yeah, give it
You know
to
what?
us.
I love this one because I think it's really great for everyone to know. It says how to make space for yourself in the timeline. This is from Wedding Content Creator.
Oh, I love this question.
I love this question because I actually just saw a planner who was doing a Q&A on her stories this morning, and it said, what's something about like a photographer or media person that makes you mad? And she said, when they don't communicate with me, if they need something done on the timeline or they need more space, because I can only I only know so much of what I know, but if you need something, like you gotta tell me. So
exactly.
This is a great place to start.
It's a really great place to start. And also the really interesting thing is, and this still happens to me, and it's just, I think it's crazy that it's still happening, is a lot of planners do not send or include content creators on timelines or in any conversations with, you know, the media team or anything leading up to the wedding, because they're like, this person is just running around with an iPhone. They so assume, which is a fair assumption. And this is why we have this podcast, is to open up this dialogue and to say, you shouldn't be leaving us off of that communication. We are just as important as everybody else on the vendor team and need to be included in all of that, because we have things that might need to be on the timeline.
For example, just a 6-second TikTok video could take 10 to 15 minutes to make, if not longer.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's like choreographed or there's different times. This is just one example of something that you would talk to your couple if they're like, I want this TikTok made, or I want this video made. You're like, great. We're going to talk to the planner and we're going to find the best time to put it in the timeline, or you're going to run over and everyone's going to be mad at you because you're making the TikToks and making everything go longer.
Right. Literally after the first wedding that I shot, shout out to my first bride ever. And also the media team that I worked with too. They were so patient and they were so kind. But we were trying to get through 3 different transition TikToks throughout the day, or maybe we did a couple more than that. It might have been like 3 to 5. But I just remember the 3 that we were doing in the bridal suite getting ready. And I felt this like immense pressure to like get it done and get it quickly. But it's like, I have a client who has paid me to do these TikToks correctly. And if it doesn't look good, then they're going to be mad, you know, when they get their TikToks back. But also it's like, we got to go downstairs and do the first look. And there's that like pressure that you have to get it all done. And so after that wedding, I made it a rule, and I tell all of my clients this: if they tell me that they want to do TikToks, I would say like maybe 90% of my couples do not want to do TikTok transitions.
I don't do too many anymore.
No, it's very like behind the scenes and everything. But if they do, and I always like ask them,
but
I ask them on their inquiry call, and I check in with them too throughout the year on it, because they could change their mind. And I really solidify things on my call 2 weeks out that I do with the couple from their wedding to review timeline and things like that. But when we have that call, they know from our inquiry call that
crazy. I was like, whoa,
things are happening. Okay.
I know. Sorry.
Eyes, hair. It's just, today's just, it's happening. You know, everything's just happening.
I don't know what happened. Contact went blurry.
It's fine.
But anyway, your inquiry call.
But yeah, so I'm talking about really important stuff. Okay.
This is important.
Tell your eyebrow to chill. Chill. Anyway, so they know when that final call 2 weeks comes around from when I inform them of this on my inquiry call, that like, that's the call where everything is solidified and we're not making changes. So there's no inserting new TikTok trends or ideas. That's all, you know, discussed way before then, because it's important to have that timeline and to be able to know when that's going to happen. I don't allow my couples to do more than 2 TikToks. And I know, you know, maybe some of you guys are watching this being like, what? But it's true. Just like what Jesse said, 1 6-second TikTok can take 15 minutes.
Especially if there's like dancing involved,
and other people
like
who aren't used to being on camera and haven't practiced. I will not do a TikTok with any of my couples unless they have rehearsed. And I say, do you feel like you could probably do this in 1 take? If the answer is no, we may not be able to do it.
I think it's just important to set the expectation prior and be like, you know.
And I do. I tell them this on the inquiry call.
I'm not. This is not.
So they go into it and they're like, I'm going to do my best TikTok for you, Emily. And I'm like, that's right. Yeah, I'm like a stage mom. I'm like, you will do this correct.
I've never had someone ask for more than like maybe 2 or 3. Most of my couples don't want you. Well,
you.
I was going to say, I asked for 1.
We did so many TikToks.
It's my job, Emily.
Jesse, we had a whole spreadsheet of all the TikToks we were
Okay, but that was for the whole weekend, Emily. There was one like major
30.
TikTok.
We were like, we hope to get all these done.
Yeah, no, we hope to. And we didn't. Don't worry.
No. But, you know,
But
we
forgot.
got some great stuff.
Yeah, it was fine. But I meant, I've never had that like for one wedding day from like a typical wedding day. But
Yeah.
I just think it's important to set expectations. If they want, you know, the one that's like the bridesmaids are in like a triangle and they're like, dun, 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 clap, right? You know that one that I acted out for you?
I do know that
If you're
one.
watching on YouTube, you're welcome. And that one, I'm like, you guys need to practice this before. Like you got it.
You have to. You can't be learning it for the first time.
This is a dance class on the wedding morning because honestly, that could take so long.
And all of you guys are going to be sweaty in your hair and makeup, and you just got it done, and you're probably doing these at least with your hair and makeup done. You might not be dressed yet.
Yeah, well,
but that's typically how you do them.
Transition it.
Yep.
And this is not to say to like not do TikToks or not make, you know, anything, but I just think it's really important to, especially if you're a content creator, to make your couple aware because this is their first time getting married. Most likely, this is
it is your job to educate your clients.
Yeah, like just communicate it with them. Like, hey, I love this idea. Practice it before, or we might not have time. Be like, we can have, you know, we're going to have 10 minutes to get these done. That's what fits in the timeline nicely with the photographer, your videographer, the planner, like what everyone wants.
Because you also have to be respectful to the other vendors that have been contracted and hired for that day. And
just you want to make sure the couple is going to get everything that they were promised by everyone else. So if you're taking like, if you're supposed to have 10 minutes and you're taking 15, 20, 25, like it's going to run into some, you know, you're going to make some other people feel very rushed for later in the day. And like, you don't want to do that. So I just think having open communication and really
you don't want your couple feeling rushed either. You know, like my first wedding, I feel like my bride was feeling the intensity of the moment and trying to just get it done instead of enjoying making TikToks. And it should be a fun, entertaining part of the day.
It should be like pretty quick.
Yeah. Like when we did your TikToks and we did like the High School Musical one, you were having so much fun making that, you know, because we built it into the timeline.
We should post that with this one.
We should. There's so much fun.
It's a good one. But I think you're right. And I think open communication, I'm pretty sure solves 99% of the problems that wedding vendors have between each other. Yeah. Talking with the planner, like, early on, just, you know, reaching out if they weren't the ones that introduced you, if the couple hired you, sending them a message.
If there isn't a planner, though.
If there isn't a planner at all and it's just the couple and the couple is making their timeline, they're most likely consulting with their photographer for it.
Yes.
Reach out to me. I think you should reach out to the photographer regardless. But I think it's really important to actually tell the couple, hey, can you send an introduction email between me and the photographer because, you know, you want to do X, Y, and Z. We love that. But I need to make sure that it goes with their timeline. If you don't have a planner, most of the time the photographer is who is going to help make your timeline with you. And you just want to make sure that they know that the TikToks are happening and they know that this is happening. That way everything can kind of be adjusted and kind of accounted for. Most will not have a problem because truthfully, whether there was a content creator there or not, like you'd probably want to make it's not their first time a bride wanting to make a TikTok. So I'm pretty sure that like, I mean, from the feedback that I've heard from photographers and or videographers, they just want to know that things are happening and they don't want it to be like a surprise on the wedding day. Yeah. So I just think if you're a content creator, new, seasoned, doesn't really matter. Just being honest with your couples and just letting them know who you need to be in communication with. So that way, most of my brides will, like, right after we sign and everything, they'll send, I ask them to send me in an email, just making an introduction to like their planner and or photographer, videographer. At some point, we like kind of all chat before just so we show up, we're like, hey, I knew you were going to be here and that's great, and we're all on the same page. There's also nothing worse than showing up on a wedding day feeling like you don't like belong there or like that you were left out of like the communication. And sometimes look, I can't put all the blame on a planner or a photographer. It is up to you to advocate for yourself and put yourself in the position that you need to be in. So if you need to ask your couple, hey, do you just have your planner's email? Like, I'd love to reach out to them.
Honestly, to even avoid having to ask the couple for anything in your inquiry form, you should ask all of the details.
Some don't put it down.
Some don't put it down.
Also, some people who haven't had their planner yet. Like I get
also that too.
It's just like
all of that can be all of it's before, possible.
And I should probably do again. I don't really know why I've stopped the last couple months because I've been doing this.
It's been a lot.
But after you like bring on a client, send them an intake form, and in there ask for like everything, like their planner, photographer, videographer, florist, mood board, like anything that you could possibly want. That way, one, you're aware of everything. You have everyone's contacts.
You have everything
to tag.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of times where, so this will be a regular thing that we say, tag everyone. If someone was part of the wedding, just tag them. It literally costs you nothing and doesn't hurt anyone. So
it also is great for networking because 100%. They'll also more than likely share it. So if you are a new content creator or just kind of starting, collaborate with as many vendors as you can and tag, because then your work is going to appear on their Instagram pages and go out to their audience, and
totally
it's going to bring you so much business. You know, that's a really great way of, you know, when other vendors accept the collaboration of saying like, yeah, I can, you know, refer you to this person.
Yeah.
They did great work.
Exactly. And I think, you know, I hear a lot of people, you know, oh, the planner didn't do this. Oh, they didn't do that. And I'm like, look, I get that sometimes it is not your fault, but I also think it is your responsibility to be proactive. So sending an intake form like that, you'll have the majority of the tags, so you can post it, you know, within the day or two of the wedding, or put something on your story and be able to have all these tags. The planner's far too busy, like right before the wedding, to send you tags. Some send it out in general, but some don't, and then you have to track them down. You don't want to bother the couple right before their wedding or right after their wedding to ask for this stuff. So I just think it's really helpful, and it'll also be really nice to like kind of help you yourself build like kind of your own little directory of people that you've worked with before, and just have like a record of it.
You'll have a record.
And it's also really good. Tell the planner, be like, I loved working with you. This was so great. I'd love to work with you again. And you can always just say, you know, something that a lot of planners would be like, is there anything that I could do that would be really helpful? I've never worked with a content creator. Be like,
a lot of people just don't know.
They just don't know.
I'm still like, and I'm sure this will continue on. I felt like everybody has kind of worked with a content creator at this point. I worked with a photographer at my last wedding who had never worked with a content creator before.
Yeah, no, so people are still like, I have never worked with one. I'm unsure.
Yeah, they don't know. And that's okay.
There's always a respectful way.
We're here to tell you.
There's always a respectful way to be like, hey, if you could send out just a list of all of the vendors so I can make sure to tag them on social media, that would be so helpful, because, you know, if we can kind of do that before, it saves us all time. And they're like, wait, yeah, you're right, because it's just something that they don't have to think about right away. Normally they don't post that stuff immediately. So it's just really nice and helpful. And anytime there's something that like you need, there's always a nice way to just like kind of communicate that. And 9 times out of 10, they just didn't know.
It's true. This is, again, we're all learning together in this industry. This is a new thing.
Totally.
And, you know, there is so many ways to go about making sure to get into and onto the timeline.
Yeah.
But
as far as making space, I just think having conversations with your couples of like setting their expectations of what
in the beginning
possible. If they're like, I want to make 25 TikToks, you're going to be like, homegirl, I love that for you. Maybe we can make some at your rehearsal dinner, and then maybe we don't have as much. If you want to start a few on your own before I get there in the morning, like there's definitely things that you can do, like options that you can give them to maybe help with that timeline.
Yeah.
And also maybe like be like, let's pick your top 3 to 5 and like really focus on that. If we have time, we have a backlog.
Yeah.
So
And have them saved, prepped, ready to go.
totally.
You know, and if you are
never
able to
know.
get to them.
People sometimes I've had weddings that run early with hair and makeup, and you end up having some time.
Yeah.
So I just think it's all about communication and just
Setting expectations in the beginning. Yep.
And advocating for anything that you might need.
Yep. And if you are a new content creator and you're not exactly sure, you know, how many TikToks or things to suggest, just take our advice from things that we've done in the past. You know, I always say like the 2 TikTok rule is like plenty. And just go from there. And like Jessie said, you know, you could have a backlog of a couple other TikToks that you could fit in. And I think that's kind of the perfect way to move forward with all of that.
Yeah, there's so many, you know, opportunities to make fun content throughout your whole like wedding journey as well. And I think that, you know, there's always ways to get it done.
If there's a will, there's a way.
I live by that. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was
perfect.
That was a great first question.
Next question.
I knew that was gonna happen. I'm pretty sure that the question has to do, because I just clicked out of it, but don't worry, I'm getting on it. Perfect. It was from a bride, and they asked here, I got it, don't worry. How to be prepared as a couple to get the best content, and what inspo is most helpful to you. So like, what should they give us?
So whenever I ask my couples for inspiration, I love when they just text me a bunch of videos. Mm-hmm. Videos from TikTok, Instagram, even if they find something on, you know, like almost like setting up a mood board on Pinterest of how they want the videos to kind of feel. That's very helpful. I'm a very visual person, so I like to... I'm a very visual person, so I just like to, you know, have an idea of, you know, what's going on in their brain. I like to have calls with them too, just to kind of discuss, run through all of the things that are really important. Something that I ask all of my couples is when we're running through the timeline 2 weeks out from their wedding and I'm taking notes on each part of it, I actually make them read me their timeline, because I want to jog some things in their mind, because I know they're going through a lot, you know, 2 weeks out from their wedding, they're stressed, you know, there's a lot of things happening, but it helps them to really talk about each moment and remember like all of the details and things. You know, I'm like, is there any like surprise gifts or something that you're going to give? Is there, you know, like, I don't know, sometimes I'll have couples who have like a grandparent or something that's really old, like maybe 100 or, you know, sometimes older.
And they want extra content.
And they want extra content of them because they're arriving at a specific time and leaving at a specific time. And I walk them through all of this and I'm like, okay, now read me your timeline and read all of those fun extra details that are not written on this timeline right now to me.
Yeah.
And then I create a wish list for them. And it really gives me a great idea, because I know that you and I have talked about this and have witnessed this at weddings. There are multiple things happening at the same time. And as a content creator, you have to be able to really be selective as to what you think the couple would want shot, because you're one person. Sometimes you obviously can bring a team, but most of the time it's usually like one content creator.
And sometimes you have to make a very split-second decision, like during a ceremony, like,
yep,
like look at the audience, you know?
Yeah.
Are you on the couple the whole time, or like are you seeing like someone's crying and like you kind of turning your camera?
Yeah.
I think it's a very, you know, intuitive, like second type of thing as well.
Exactly. And
so you're right, knowing what their wishes are and like,
helps
what's
you
most
decide.
Important for them helps you decide.
Yeah, and make those educated, you know, decisions based on all of that knowledge. If I know that, you know, say the couple's, you know, grandmother who's 102, you know, got all dolled up for the day, and, you know, she's going to make it to the wedding and she's sitting at the ceremony and she's bawling her eyes out, you better believe that I'm going to be filming that.
Yeah.
You know? So, because I know that that's really, really important. I had a bride one time tell me, she's like, my grandmother is here, and she was like she's like my mom. So, and you know, her mom was there too, but I knew that like her and her grandmother had a more special relationship. And so, yes, I did also get footage of her mother, but I did make sure to focus a little bit more too on her grandmother and, you know, them enjoying each other too on the wedding day.
Yeah, exactly. I also, the part of it, sorry, I'm reading it. It says how to get the best content. I think the way to get the best content in my eyes is the most authentic. And so just like truly being yourself. If you're silly, be silly. If you are a crier, cry. If you're really do what feels right for you that day. Don't try and play into the camera necessarily. You
should pretend we're not there.
Unless that's your thing. Like on my wedding day, I found her at all times, and she's like, don't look at me. And I was like, but
it's part of who you are.
It's just like, my whole life, I always find the camera. But, you know, I'm like, if that's not most people's thing, I'm like, just be yourself. That's why I think for content, the whole like behind the scenes thing is not necessarily like the setup and the breakdown. Like it's more just like capturing you in a moment in time. And
very authentically, the way that it was.
That is,
you know,
that's how I like to do everything. Those are my favorite clips of the day. I mean, obviously, we love the aesthetic ones when you're posed with the photographer and all of that. But it's just when you're being really silly and you're bouncing. Like, I think my entire wedding day, I went like this. And there's like, we have to make like a thing. Like, I didn't even know I was doing it, but I was just clapping the whole day. And Emily's like a million videos of me clapping.
She clapped. She spoke during the ceremony without speaking.
Yeah, we did do that. It was a long story.
I captured the in-between moments perfectly.
Yes. But that's, like, to me, those are the most important parts because those are the things that are 100% most likely not going to be, that was such a thing. Those are not going to be in your final photo gallery.
No. Because it's edited down to the best, it's edited selection.
Down to the best. And maybe it was a picture of you laughing, but you know, and we love a photo gallery. This is nothing against that. It's just saying, I just think if you're being yourself, if that's awkward, be awkward. Trust me, it looks really cute. I'm not going to lie. Like, just be.
I love all of my awkward couples. And they're like, we took a chance and hired a content creator, but we're really awkward and we really don't like photo or video.
But it turns out beautiful.
And I'm like, I know, but you guys are so cute.
So cute. So
keep going.
That's my advice for
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
That's why content's for everyone, because just be yourself, and the content creator, you know, the right one will pick that up, and it'll be really great. So yeah,
it's gonna be amazing.
Then actually, the next question leads into that. Did you have anything else to add on the other one?
No, that's all for me.
This says wedding advice for more introverted brides and taking pictures and like posing and all of that.
I love this question.
I love this one. Well, first one, this has nothing to do with content, but I think it's really important if you're more introverted that you really do your research and interview a lot of photographers.
Yes.
And find one that like really works with people that are like you, that are more introverted, maybe a little awkward, because those things are not a bad thing. Like, they are not inherent. Like, it just is. And there are some photographers there are a lot of photographers.
Yeah.
Are really good at that.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, like, content creators aren't necessarily like pulling out poses here and there. Occasionally, if there's a really cool idea, you know, I speak up for sure.
Absolutely.
But that's typically the photographers.
We let them kind of guide the day. And it's really great if you're a more introverted couple. I get a lot of introverted couples, which I had no idea that I was going to work with a lot of introverted couples, because I didn't know if content was going to be for more people that are like, I love the camera, I want extra cameras, but it's turned out to be, maybe I don't want a videographer because I don't want the extra cameras, and I want someone who has like a very subtle camera. And a lot of introverted couples will work with me for that. And then also, I've been told I have a very calming, centered presence.
You do.
And so it makes me feel so happy that that's something that I can bring to my introverted couples who might be a little bit nervous about, you know, being the center of attention for the day. I know that's a lot of pressure, and I'm an extroverted introvert, I like to say.
I say.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I like, I loved having attention on my wedding day, but when it came to like the time to walk down the aisle in my ceremony, I almost passed out. I actually got up and held my husband's hands and shut my eyes for the first 3 minutes because I needed to just recenter myself because I really thought I was going to pass out. There's so many pictures of me standing there with him just.
That's actually really cute. I'm more of an extrovert. An introvert is more of like, I'm really like out there and going, but like at the same time, I love to be like home and like
also
like
yeah, me too.
Like, you know, like not out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like my alone time. I need my recharge time.
Which I think it's really important for introverted brides to make sure you create space in your timeline for time.
For having a minute.
Like I think.
And I also tell my couples, I'm like, if you need a minute and it's not that time, you give me the look and I will make sure you have a minute.
Yeah. Remember, at the end of the day, it's your day. If you don't care that your ceremony's starting 10 minutes late because you need 10 minutes,
you take the 10 minutes.
We'll get you some French fries, whatever it needs.
Everything can wait.
Everything can wait. It's really not that big of a deal. But I think if you are kind of going into this knowing yourself and knowing, you know what, I'm going to be kind of like really anxious or like just like, you know,
it's a big
nervous.
Day. Yeah,
it is, and a lot of people get really nervous. They get really hot. I always have a fan on me.
Me too.
I also think that I guess some moments that I think I notice people needing an extra minute during the wedding day, right before everyone lines up to go down the aisle. I also think this is the perfect time to let all of your bridal party and family go, and you take a moment in the room. I always say to record a video. I wish I did. I think that's a moment that you can honestly kind of plan and prep for, just to like have. I think what other times do you think? I think right after the ceremony.
Right after the ceremony, for sure.
Even if you need to take photos, go
still
and take a minute.
You still have 15 minutes where you can just take a second.
Yeah.
So, and at that point too, I feel like your photo video team would love to have 15 minutes to just like grab a snack, grab some water, and then, you know.
Yeah. And so exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Like
it's perfect time for everyone to take like a 5-minute break, you know?
And if it's in the timeline of like, all right, the ceremony ends, you know, at 6:00 and we're going to start photos at 6:20 because everything goes over a little bit, which is totally fine. It still gives you some buffer time.
Yeah.
And you know, even if you didn't do a first look, like, you know that photos aren't starting until then. So you still have 5-10 minutes, even if you do go over.
Yeah.
Go inside, be together, take a moment. I think that's really like
take a
helpful.
moment. Yes.
I think everyone should do this.
It's your wedding day. You get one, like just many take a moments as you can. Take
a moment. I think those are two really big ones, but one I actually think is really important is before you get dressed. A lot of brides actually like just want a minute. They're like in their hair and makeup.
Yeah.
They want to just be for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, take your time. Like whenever you like think that you know, might want a minute, it might be really emotional, overwhelming. Maybe, you know, you're doing like a first look with someone who is really like important to you. Like it's not your husband to be or wife to be or whoever to be. I think just like making sure you schedule time, taking some time to reflect and like dig deep and know what's best for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I keep hitting this. But yeah, I think that's my best advice.
Yeah, me too. I think that's great advice. Next question.
I think we have time for one more.
Okay,
let's do one more. This one kind of actually leads into, we can touch on the topic. Photographers excluding content creators in their contracts.
First of all, so rude.
So rude.
So rude of you. You should be ashamed.
So we're actually going to have a guest on, hopefully soon, to like really deep dive into this. But I think we should just take a step back and like just coming from like our perspective of like why we understand why it is a question or why it could be in the conversation, because look, I get it of like this feeling, but also why you really don't need to be too concerned.
Yeah.
So do you want to like, I get it. Look, I get it. a content creator. The whole thing was a girl with an iPhone.
We're really threatening.
They're really threatening, but also like I get
We're
it.
really
Like,
scary.
They're pulling out a G7X. It's a camera. Look, I'm so sorry. Is my G7X that I genuinely don't know how to use?
I don't know how to
I
use
don't know
it.
settings. But also like
I just don't want my flash to get in the way of your flash. Okay, that's about where I'm going to draw the line of like asking any questions.
But also, like, you're a professional camera. I'm not editing photos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that to some, like, that's like crossing a line. But in my mind, I'm like, I am not a professional photographer. I'm not professionally editing photos. And this is my G7X. Like, this is prime for my Instagram pic on the beach.
This is our little rant section. Okay. Also, I just want to add this in here, coming from like a digital marketing expert perspective. We are your social experts on your wedding day, you know? Yeah. And let me just say that content coming from DSLRs does not perform as well typically on social media. The algorithm favors iPhone content. It's just a known fact. I'm going to say it as we're recording this on DSLRs, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well,
But guess what?
but
It's just facts. It's just what the algorithm typically favors.
yes, but I also think I'm like, look, you were hired by a couple. You're good enough. You're good enough that you got hired first to capture someone's wedding day. Have some faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Like, show up, do the job that you were hired to do, and the couple's going to probably love their photos, and because they hired you for you and your style, they hired me or Em or the content creator for what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And one doesn't really have to do with the other. I understand in the contracts when you're like, I'm the sole photographer, I can promise you.
I'm not whipping out a DSLR and trying to step in front of you. No. And
I get that. But
some people act like
G7X.
People act like that's what we're doing. And I'm just so over it. Also, let's just say it legally how it is.
You're right. Legally,
your contract is between you and the couple. And my contract is between me and the couple. And your contract cannot legally ban a content creator from showing up, because if the couple wants to hire that, technically the couple is in breach of the contract, not the content creator that is showing up to the wedding. Therefore, you have no place to tell me to put away any equipment. Thank you and good night. Yeah.
Yes. I also think, I think it is good to be upfront with your couple of all the gear that you have.
Yeah.
Or that that you could bring, Hey, I've heard people get mad over a Polaroid camera and they're like, you can't have that. I'm like,
as long as my couple, I have a slide.
Real.
I have a slide in my pricing brochure. This goes out to all of my couples.
People are going to take this idea. It's cute.
It's really cute and it's fine. Some people have stolen it already, whatever. I have a slide in my pricing brochure that says what's in my bag, and it's a cute little bag and it shows all of my equipment that I come with. And yes, I do sometimes come with more than an iPhone. And my couple is well aware of that. It's in my agreement. So
I've had people ask me.
Yeah, I have people ask me, I
call them scrapbook photos, my G7X photos.
I don't edit them. They're just they're cute Instagram pics. That is the Polaroid of our generation. It's
but also sometimes it's like blurry and like cute.
Yeah,
like it's just
it's just for anyway. Like regardless of if you're editing it or not, it doesn't even matter.
If I post a G7X photo and I post, then also wait, sorry, this is so off topic, but no, you know what? I'm not going to get into this now. We'll save it for another episode.
Oh.
Well,
she's mysterious.
Okay.
I think you have to tell us now.
The argument that I've seen a lot, I don't know why I decided this is the time to do this, but like photographers, not all, some photographers on like threads were getting mad that couples were they were mixing content photos with their photos in their reels or on like a carousel post that the couple was posting. And the couple posted professional photographer, professional photo, content photo, professional photo.
But the couple paid for that.
And I'm like, once it's out of my hands, what am I going to...
Yeah.
Look.
The couple should be able to post the way that they want to post. They paid for it. It's their wedding day.
I don't think that like that's
what is the
gonna
argument?
hinder you from getting business.
Yeah.
Like if Emily posts, or no, if I posted, you know, my photographer would literally never say this, but like, you know, if I posted like professional photo, Emily took on her iPhone, but professional photo, people are going to look at them and be like, oh my God, these are awesome photos. Like, who is your photographer?
Right.
They're not going to be like, I don't really like this one. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to hire them.
I feel like you can clearly tell what was shot from a photographer versus, you know, not.
I think so too. I just meant, look, that argument is like crazy to me because it's like, at the end of the day, someone paid you for a service and for.
I just feel like at
photos.
that point you're grasping for things to be panini pressed about.
I need that on a t-shirt right now. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. No, 100%. I agree.
The thing is, like, my argument too to this is like, there's always, you know, like, oh, they're like, oh, content creators are so unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. There's always going to be someone who's a little unprofessional on a wedding day. It may be the content creator. It could be the makeup artist. It could be the planner. Someone is just going to be a little, you know, a little wacky. It just always happens. I feel like and
it's okay.
It's fine. I expect it.
You just work around it.
You just work around it. It's so easy.
It's so easy.
I've worked with people who have stepped in my way and gotten in my shots. And guess what? I didn't take to threads and go, oh, I really hate content creators because they get in my way and blah, blah, blah. And
or I hate a hairstylist because blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really fine.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
You're going to work with people that you occasionally do not like, and we are professionals and we can work around it and move past it.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think having it in your contract is just
banning other vendors.
It's like weird, mean energy. And
but it also says to your clients, hi, I cannot work with other people well.
Or hi, my photos aren't better than an iPhone, so you can't have an iPhone. Like, please.
When a client or a potential client reads that, that is what they are getting, or they're getting that my photographer is trying to control how my wedding day is, and it puts out really bad energy. And trust me, couples talk. Mm-hmm. Couples talk. They read into that. They see that. They also see what you are commenting on other wedding vendors' videos. They do see what you are commenting on threads.
They see what you post on your stories. Guys, please, please
don't be a walking PR nightmare for yourself.
Well, like, I'm saying this.
Things live on the internet forever, guys.
I'm saying this to, help you out. Stop posting things on stories about your couples,
because we're the social media experts and we're here to help you guys.
Yes, please stop.
Let us help you.
Like, text your friend or like call someone. Please don't put on your stories.
Your therapist, your business coach.
Literally, yeah. I mean, if you're having a problem,
your mentor,
someone. Don't put on your story. It's a bad look for you, and I don't want that for you. And your clients don't want to see that because then they're going to feel a little weird.
I know that we got all ranty, and I don't want this to feel in any way that we're like talking down to people. We're angry. We're over it.
No.
We want to go to work, and we want to work as a team with people. And that is the point of having these tough conversations and saying what a lot of people are scared to say sometimes. And it's how,
but I just want people to like have some faith in themselves and their talent, because I've worked with so many freaking talented photographers. And
one of the mean photographers I worked with, he takes beautiful photos. I don't know why he was so panini pressed. Like,
that is, can we trademark that? But like, no, it's true. And I'm just like, guys, it's going to be okay. There's space for everyone. Just like,
yes.
Think about your couples and like, you want them to have the best day.
Yes.
And if the best day for them is having iPhone coverage as well, then
absolutely,
then it's their day and that's what they should do. And I don't believe that anybody should dictate or have a say in what a couple does on their wedding day.
Yes.
If you don't feel good about it and you want to remove yourself, that is one thing, but
yeah,
don't try and like bully someone else out or, make them feel bad.
Or also to, if say, I feel like there's a lot of photographers that are really concerned about content creators being newer, and not knowing how a full wedding day goes, or maybe a lot of new content creators stepping in, offering to do weddings for free and like not really knowing things. And I think like a lot of photographers and videographers feel like they're almost babysitting or working with the intern for the day or something like that.
That's on the content creator. You should not show up to a wedding day. I don't care who you are. You should have some sort of knowledge, and you should show up like, even if you have no idea what's going on, you better act like you know what's going on.
Yeah.
If you have a question, of course, there's a professional way to ask.
There's a professional way to ask the question and prepare beforehand.
100% right.
I'm sure obviously you guys probably know that I offer coaching and mentoring, and obviously our DMs are open at all times if you have questions for us. Like we are more than happy
DM us or to help the Vow Factor, because I mean, if you
and then you can say you're Vow Factor approved and ready for your wedding day. Yeah. We can give you a stamp of approval.
A little +1.
All of our +1s.
All of our +1s. Yeah. I think that when there's a win for one content creator, it's a win for all content creators.
Yes.
And we're so arms are open, ready to kind of bring you in. If you have any questions, if you're confused, if you did your first wedding and you're like, what just happened? And like, you need someone to talk to, like, please reach out. We're so happy to answer any questions, or even if you're doing your first wedding, even if you've like been to one and you're still nervous, like trust me, we've been there. My first wedding, I was so nervous that I just literally turned into a different personality for the day. I was like, I'm not Jessie, I am wedding content creator for the day. Like I don't even know, I just like totally was like, fake it till you make it.
That's all you can do. That's all you fake can it till you make it.
But there are so many wedding content creators out there, and I would say a good majority of them are willing to help you.
Yeah. Someone else who does coaching is Kenzie.
It's Kenzie. She just
Forever After Always. It's called
Forever After Instantly.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Forever After Instantly.
She launched her course called
I was thinking of the Taylor Swift song.
Oh yeah,
Forever and Always. Of course, always thinking of Taylor.
She it's called The Aisle and the Edit.
Yes.
I believe as of today she's on like her second round. I actually signed up for her email. Like I put her email on. I'm like, I'm really curious. It looks like really educational and fun, and I don't believe that you're ever like too good for something, or like you should always like be willing to learn. Yeah. And even if you have a really good system down, like there's always room to improve.
Absolutely.
So
ask questions.
Shout out to Kenzie again. Like definitely go and check that out. I have no idea anything about it other than it's a 4-week course, and she kind of like walks you through everything that she does.
And also, if you guys know of any other resources, please drop them down in the comments. Please DM us about it so we can share it on our stories, because ultimately at the end of the day, we just want to help this community be the best that it can be.
Yeah. I hope
so.
Yeah. And it is a goal for us one day to have a greater space for us to be able to kind of take in some people like in a similar way. But for right now, we want to promote all the other amazing people that are already doing this.
Yeah.
And, we don't know anyone else who's really doing that right now. So if you know anyone, maybe you can find, just as, you find the right content creator for you and the right photographer for you and the right therapist for you, you have to find the right course for you and the right coach.
Exactly. Also too, if you're a new content creator and you have gotten married, this is what I did. I reached out to my wedding vendors.
You did.
I reached out to my planner. I reached out to my photographer. I had them run me through a wedding day and the do's and don'ts of a wedding day. And I just, there's always people that you can reach out to and prepare, so you're not walking into your first wedding day relying on the team that's already there, who is contracted by the couple and just trying to, do their best for them.
I'm sure that there are people that are willing I'm sure like they are willing to help in some capacity, but I definitely do not recommend relying on anyone you are showing up as a professional, and whether
you should have an idea of
whether you
what
are
you're
doing
doing.
it fully paid or you're doing it for discounted or free if it's like one of your first weddings. I think everyone has their first day. Everyone needs practice, but there is some sort of decorum that goes with it. And that I fully am on board with.
And then to the people that have been doing weddings for a really long time, have a little grace for people who are having their first day, because you once had your first day too.
I agree. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay, everyone. Big hug.
Big hug.
Big hug. Photographers, videographers.
And if any photographers or videographers or whomever is watching this and you have something, you know, a comment, truthfully, I'd love to hear it, because this is just our perspective on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have to talk about it.
We have to. And even if it's a little, you know, I don't mean to get like, we're heated because this is, truthfully, at the time, this is just, it's every day. It's something new and it's so annoying. And this is the first opportunity where we have had an opportunity to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
And say something. And I just feel like it's really important that we do take the opportunity to do that.
I was checking to see if we had any other comments, but we don't. We have 150 followers, though, which is
that's so cute. 150 best friends.
We had posted on our
plus
story.
ones. Okay, so
150 plus ones.
Yeah,
we thought that was a cute name.
Did we tell you guys that that's what we're naming our audience? The plus ones.
The plus ones. Is that cute? There'll be a plus one.
Yeah,
you're kind of like a plus one, like at the wedding, because you're kind of like their built-in friend. For the day. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But
our plus ones.
Without having these discussions, even though in our mind we're like, I mean, we belong and we can be there, but I totally got that there are, you know, what's it called, like learning curves and little hiccups and things along the way. And if there's something that's really bothering you, we'd love to address it and maybe let everyone else know.
Yeah. One thing too, I just want to add on, because I realized this like early, well, I guess like throughout my first year of doing wedding content creators can typically shoot more weddings in a year than photo video, which means we can learn really, 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 really fast. Mm-hmm. And if you have one content creator who's still in their first year, they could have shot. I did 95 weddings last year. So, and that's, you know, sometimes more weddings than some photographers and videographers have done in their entire career. So I'm new, but I'm not, you know, I'm not inexperienced.
Right.
And a lot of content creators, I feel like, are getting to that point where they've built up and done a lot of those weddings, you know, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So we all have a lot to learn from each other.
Totally. Mm-hmm. And everyone has their own path. You know, some people do 5 weddings in, you know, their first year. Some do 95. And
well, that was year 2, but
still, that's a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
But even still,
tired.
Like, I think just gaining the experience and taking every single wedding day as like more time to grow and learn is just what's going to help this community really come together and to kind of like stop this like divide and this like weirdness.
Yeah, sorry we had to get a little, but
I hope you do hear what we're saying, and I hope you do.
We just want to be heard. We just want to be heard.
Yeah, I hope you hear us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we've ranted enough on that.
Yeah. So.
But now it's time for us to rant about Taylor Swift.
Let's end on a very positive note.
I feel like you guys know the drill by now. We are going to shoot Taylor Swift's wedding one day. Putting that out there
we
now.
have to pretend to plan it.
Yep.
To a song.
And we love to choose a song that like loosely we can kind of relate to the episode or one that we just feel like doing that day. And we like to plan a wedding inspired by it.
Yeah.
And related to Taylor Swift. So what song were we going to do today?
We were thinking for this episode, Welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York. And this might sound like a strange choice, but
it's not.
There was a connection.
Because this is how we do it in New York. So.
Oh, yeah, because it's straight up. Mm-hmm. But also we are welcoming all questions. We are welcoming all comments, concerns, you know, chit chat. yapping, whatever you want to do. We welcome it all. We want to make sure everyone does feel heard.
Yeah.
And seen, and hopefully we can all kind of come together.
Yeah.
Just as you do when you are on a night out at a bar in the West Village.
Exactly. Everyone is friends at that bar. It's always a good night.
I love it. So, well, obviously we're in New York.
So obviously, I love the idea, obviously, of a New York wedding. We both primarily work in New York City for all of our weddings. And so we've gotten to go to like all of the cool venues.
Oh, yeah.
In
and
the
some
city.
like unique ones too.
Some very unique ones. I mean, all of them are cool. I feel like if you're getting married in New York City or anywhere remotely close, then you're just automatically having a cool wedding.
Yeah, totally.
Because you can have like the really crazy big hotel venues like the Plaza or the Pierre, and then you have like these really cool little restaurants that you can rent out and have these beautiful romantic weddings.
I love a dinner party wedding. One of my favorites
Yes.
is still Carmen's wedding.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So gorgeous.
They had like a two. Honestly, like I feel like the vibe could be like hers. They did Friday night. They had a pretty intimate ceremony. It was at an Italian restaurant. It was like in the wine cellar. She's like the bride loves wine, and it was like down in like kind of like this all brick wine cellar. It was so cool, and their flowers were like gorgeous, very like autumnal, but like still bright.
Yes.
And then they had 60 guests there, and then the following day they had their reception at the Django in, oh my God, what's that hotel called?
I forget.
It's good.
But it's a jazz club.
Yeah, it's a jazz
Yeah.
club, and it was literally so much fun. I love this wedding. I talk about it all the time. But it's so unique and so perfect for them, and I had the best time there. And I love this bride.
So we think Taylor Swift is having a similar vibe because I
I can totally see it.
I don't see her having like a hotel wedding at like the Plaza or something.
No, I was thinking like something way more vibey.
I do too. I think it's like almost like an underground restaurant type of feel. Like
in the village. The village is a glow.
it's the village is aglow.
But yeah, I totally see that.
And I think, yeah, I see it very like dark, dreamy,
Moody.
Italian food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
What's the Italian place that she really likes? I always forget the name, but they've got like the really good lasagna that they're known for.
Christ.
Does it start with a D?
It flew out of my.
It flew out of my head. Yeah, me too. Okay. Anyway, we'll come back to that. We'll just insert the name probably somewhere
Here.
here or there. I don't know. Editors, you pick. Who do you like better? We're gonna find out.
You know, like it's like the who's who, which way?
You went that way.
Well, the rabbit. It's the white rabbit.
Yeah.
Like he went that way.
Fun fact, my sister Abby played the White Rabbit in her school's play, Alice in Wonderland, in 5th grade, and she got a write-up in the newspaper.
Ooh.
Yep, I'll have to show you the picture later.
You'll
It's
have
very
to.
cute. But anyway, honestly, what about like a slight Alice in Wonderland twist?
Don't get me started. You know
To
I
this
love
wedding.
Alice in Wonderland.
I didn't know this about you.
Wait, are you kidding? That's what I wanted my 30th birthday to be themed. Yeah, like Jesse,
dad and I were
Jesse in
just
Wonderland, and I wanted like to go down a hallway and it'd be like all these like embarrassing pictures from my 20s going down the rabbit hole of my
Bitch
20s.
stole my look.
No way.
My dad and I were just talking about this because
You must have gotten the idea from me. I feel like I've told you about this.
No. Well, we were talking about it when I was in Dallas because when I was little, every afternoon, my dad would ask, what movie do you want to watch? When I was like ages 3 to 6.
And it was Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, but he was getting so sick of me asking to watch Alice in Wonderland every single day that I would go, maybe Alice. And my dad will tell the story at some point. But it was always, maybe Alice. So my dad was talking about,
funny.
I was like, what should I do for my 30th birthday? It's been a big thing. And he just went, maybe Alice.
That's so funny.
It's not like a full planned,
Oh, neither is
you know
mine.
what
I'm
I really
still
want to do for my 30th. But
I know. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Well-
But I will help you throw the best maybe Alice party in the entire world.
I have many of ideas. I just need many a fun.
I just love how
for
we're
my
like,
cool idea.
we've been friends for 2 years and we're sitting here recording us bonding even more.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it was 10th grade, like in high school, every year you had like a big writing project in your English class. And one was like an author, like you had to choose an author, and I did Lewis Carroll. And then I like went down the rabbit hole of Lewis Carroll, which is a whole
It's a rabbit hole
itself. But like I relate to him kind of. So not in the drug way.
Are you sure? No.
I'm just high on life.
Just always high on life. Yeah,
No,
she's
but
a Shirley Temple girly.
I am. We'll have those. I'll tell you my ideas in the car on the way home. But anyway, we are planning this wedding. We've gotten very distracted.
Okay, so
But
we are
she's
doing...
wearing a slinky open back dress.
She has to be.
Like...
And I picture her shoes, like I picture her wearing some ridiculous fun platforms. I don't know why.
Interesting.
But she can do it because she's small girl next to Travis.
That's true.
Do you remember that when they first started dating and everyone on TikTok was like, she gets to feel like what being a small girl is like for the first time? And I was like, that's really cute and funny to think about.
She feels little.
She feels little. She's just a girl.
Yeah.
But she could wear like a really fun, like
it's a
chunky platform.
I love that. Yeah. I'm here.
And she would anyway, even if she was with like a shorter guy, she would. But
oh, yeah.
I think this is just fun.
Fun vibes.
I see her in some like sick Valentino crazy heels.
Yeah, and I don't see her in like a traditional like wedding dress necessarily, but like something very like slinky and sexy and like
maybe with like a little feather to it somewhere.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I just think it's a big party. Like I think it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna ceremony, and then honestly, like they could probably maybe have like dinner, or like maybe they went to the courthouse and they're throwing a big party at like their favorite bar. They just rent out the bar.
How iconic would it be if you have like court and then all of a sudden Taylor and Travis just walk into the courthouse and all of a sudden all this paparazzi is like everywhere. And, you know, like because we did your courthouse day.
Yeah.
You know, when you did your civil ceremony, like you can only have like one or two other people with you. So that could be a perfect scenario for them if they wanted to get married legally like that.
You can have two each. So like four total.
Yeah.
You know, I love a civil
ceremony. Paparazzi just really can't come in.
No, they can't. You're totally right.
It would be pretty private for them.
So we have the civil ceremony, and then they have a big party. They rent out like a sick bar, or like, I don't know, like I feel like I can't say that. The Black Cat, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
That would be so fun.
And then it's like attached to like the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
Like those are the vibes.
You know, one of my couples did her bridal shower at Gotham Comedy Club. She rented it out.
Well, wait, you told me that.
And they did a roast. And I had to send an associate to that because I was booked for something that day. And I understood at their wedding when I did their welcome dinner, and I also did their wedding day, and their family loves to do jokes and speeches, and the couple emceed their own welcome dinner, and they had jokes and like they were comedians.
I love that
It was so
much.
good. So obviously like I watched all the footage back from her bridal shower, and everybody got up and did their own comedy special. And like roasted each other, and it was so cool and so fun. So like maybe for their rehearsal dinner, maybe that's kind of
the vibe.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
I really love it.
Same. I love that.
Shout out to Jesse and Jake for that little that was a couple.
I love that so much.
I love them so much. They're so funny, and their families were just everyone was so into it. So, and I feel like Taylor and Travis, like their families would be really into it too, and it would be kind of perfect for them. So all right.
I love this. I do too.
I
just think that's the vibe.
I think it's a lot of like drippy candles, like in terms of decor, and like lots of wine
not
glasses.
That much decor.
No, it's like the restaurant kind of just being the restaurant. There's like not a lot of florals, but like enough to be like.
I think there's
special.
There's like no tablecloths and just like
wooden
thick,
tables.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, just like maybe not wooden, but just like plain tables. I don't really know, like not like barn wood, but just like solid
wood tables. Yeah.
And maybe like cool dishware.
Yeah, like a mix match.
Yeah, like a mix
kind of
match situation. Maybe like blacks and golds and reds, and maybe like a pop of like copper in there or something.
Have you ever been to JoJo, the restaurant in the Upper East Side? It's like a John George's restaurant.
No.
they do this like mix match, like vintage china, and it's so cool. Everything goes, but it doesn't match. Yeah, but it all goes together,
like, and it's
so
vibe.
cool. And I like that on top of the solid wood tables with no tablecloths and like maybe just like
mismatch
little florals. I wouldn't even mind if they just took roses with long stems and just laid them on the tables.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was thinking,
and just was like, I just put flowers, but it looks pretty.
Yeah, it's just like, we're here to have a good time. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
That's the vibe.
So I think that's exactly how it is. And then everybody like moves the tables to the sides, and then they
dance,
and that's the dance floor. Yeah, they make the dance floor.
I love that so much. They have like a sick DJ, like some famous DJ.
Yeah.
And
do you think they end up at the box?
Emily, please. Oh my gosh. It's Sarah in here.
I know. She's like, oh, they absolutely end up at the box at the end of the night. Absolutely. Do you think they just get like so crazy wild? They just have like too many bottles of wine, and then they're just like
the champagne is,
let's swing from the chandeliers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Perfect. I love this for them. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you.
We have to clip all of Emily singing. This is the funniest thing. But yeah, that's it.
All right.
I love it.
I love it too.
Tune in next week or later this week. And whenever you're watching this, we love you
all.
That was weird.
I was like, we have to tell them we love them.
And I was like, we love you. Anyway, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Write in any of your questions, comments, concerns, and we will chit chat later.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.